Hey, good morning, Trip Nation. How you guys? Welcome to the call. I just wanted to take some time to update everybody where we're at. Everything's moving along pretty quickly. I want to set it up as a Q&A so you could ask questions so I can answer that makes sense, that you'll get the correct answer instead of trying to find out from other people. And sometimes it's always not the correct information. So one of the things I want to talk about is, obviously we want to get launched here in the last couple of days or in the next week or whatever, and we will. Everything's moving along just fine. People have to understand we're doing some really new technology that nobody uses. Our whole business model, other than giving rides or restaurants or grocery deliveries, is not like anybody else, and that includes the technology that goes along with that. So all the technology, by us issuing a merchant account to a driver individually, is all built on the fly. If you have 100,000, 200,000, 500,000 drivers, they're all going to get their own merchant account. That takes technology to do that. There's nobody out there that does it. It's all new. So we've had to work with different providers to build that technology, and it is built and it's up. Same thing when we said we're getting in the restaurant business 10 weeks ago, we had to figure out what that business model looks like so it's disruptive to the market. And we came up with a terrific business model that is totally disruptive. And we're also going to issue those restaurateurs their own merchant account, because then they get paid on time instead of going to some other company as a third party and then they get their money. So all this stuff matters, and a lot of it is that we just don't have answers until you get into the mix. So things do move. It's just like what I said last week. We got pushed off basically because of geo-targeting. We had not understood technically that geo-targeting is different for restaurants than it is for rideshare. So we had to go find the software to make that work. We have to integrate that. Just so you know, we work with about 10 or 12 different companies to integrate all these things. So the back office piece is different from all these other pieces that we're doing. So we have to build all that stuff. And it's all built, by the way. It's just the integration part that we're doing right now. So, and it's getting better. I mean, we had a call yesterday with our developer at over 3 hours, going through, the app, going through the restaurant onboarding, the groceries, all that stuff. So it's all working fine. It's no problem. Now the rest of it's all the pieces we're putting together, the mapping, the integration of the background search, all that stuff. So it's all coming together. The last bit that we're putting together, which is really important, if you can't get the restaurants up, you can't go solicit restaurants and have an ordering process. So that's being done this week, and hopefully, we don't know what. I'm not going to give a date because we may run into something. But the thing we are going to announce today is we're going to have our first webinar training, and we'll send an email about it next Saturday, to how to onboard restaurants, review the processes, the commissions, all that stuff. That will be held by Lisa Story, who's Senior Vice President of Trip Delivers. And we just brought a new teammate on, and Shanna Lockhart, who's got huge experience. She's Director of Marketing, Revenues, onboarding restaurants. She's got a huge background in it. She'll be on that call along with David Track, who's Senior VP of Growth and Strategy. So that'll be our first webinar. That'll be the beginning of the kickoff to get this up and running. I was kind of thinking about an analogy today regarding why things happen or don't happen on time. And I'll give you a real good one that you all might be familiar with just recently. Elon Musk just launched SpaceX to outer space. First time in, 15 years, the U.S. has gone back to space. They had a launch date, a time. They were on the platform. They're ready to go. And with 3 minutes left in the countdown before they lifted off, they had to change it because of weather. So there's unforeseen consequences when you're doing things. And those are the things that take time. And even in Elon Musk, when he did Model 3 Tesla, it took him a year beyond him getting launched. And then when he did launch, he found out he over-engineered the process to build a car. So they had to change the whole engineering. So there's a lot of things you don't understand. I'm not talking about you don't understand. A lot of things we don't understand when we're doing things. So we have to find out about them, and it takes time. Because when we launch, we want to be right. We don't want to slow down. We want to step on the gas. I announced to you guys that we, have selected 36 markets, but the reality, we've actually selected over 110 markets. So, and those are all in our system. So as we start to roll out, we can say, oh, hey, let's go push it further. Let's go faster on some of these markets we can get into. And that's all a strategy that we're going to be unrolling in the webinar. The first one next Saturday will be the first beginning of it. And that'll be the countdown to rolling this thing out. We're going to be very close by Saturday. I don't know exactly when we're going to launch, but that'll be the beginning of the launch cycle. We have a lot to do. We have a lot of training to get through, how to onboard restaurants, groceries, customers, share your app, all that stuff. So I've got a bunch of questions here. I see everybody's kind of rolling in. Hey, good morning. Hey, Chris Hope, how are you doing, buddy? Let's see. Philip, Pennsylvania's there. It's good, Juan. I got some questions that were sent over by Oscar's group, and I want to walk through those since I've already reviewed them. So for Abigail asked a question, how can people with new phone numbers update their virtual office? So here's the thing. When we rebuilt our system, because the last group of guys couldn't get it done, we looked at every issue that it's going to take to really run a back office. So our back office on your profile is fully editable by you. So you'll go in the back office, you'll click on edit, you can change your address, phone number, all that stuff yourself. You don't have to call anybody, and then you hit save. Once it's saved, it automatically puts your new number in the system. So we use an OTP, a one-time passcode. So when you log in, that new number is going to be in there, and your one-time passcode will come to your new number. So yes, you'll be able to edit all your stuff in your back office yourself. And great, because we just went through the last iteration to update that the other day. In that back office, you're going to find, videos, all the PDF documentation. The videos will be in Spanish and English both. Oscar's helping with some of that. The other question, will the compensation plan change again? We've only really changed the compensation plan once. However, at the urging of some of the people that have been with the company, we take a look at it, and we really were going to one level. So there are 2 levels on the rider driver app. On the share side, there's 40 and 10 cents, so that's 2 levels. On the legacy driver, it's 2 levels. It's 50 and 15, okay? And then on the pro driver, it's 50 and 5, so that's 2 levels. So the only single level that we have are basically the side hustle and or if you're just a rider on the app. And that would be if a rider on the app wants to share the app or wants to do certain things or recruit, it's 30% one level. Same way with the side hustle. It's 40% on one level. But everything else is 2 levels. But we really haven't changed it again. We've actually enhanced it since the last change. Another one is, do we have to pay again all VIP members? No, there's nothing to pay. Nothing else has changed. We're going to fire you guys up. Get the system up. You'll come in. You'll re-register from the standpoint of we'll do the background search. It's all AI-driven facial recognition. It probably takes about 10 or 15 minutes to get an authorization on that. So it's very quick. You don't have to pay for it. And then you'll sign up through other processes for your merchant account. Those are going to be pretty automatic, assuming you pass the first background. The rest will go very quickly. So you'll get your own merchant account, so you control all your own money. The money goes directly to you. Go to your e-wallet, go wherever you want it to go. But that's still in the mix. Nothing's changed there. We still have a bonus for waiting and having losses for our marketing by changing the name Trip to Trip. If you're asking, is the company going to pay for your marketing? The answer is no. We've paid the price on the marketing. We've been transitioning over to Trip, TRYP to TRIP. But you'll still be able to get to the website by using Trip Rides, TRYP.com, TripDelivers.com, TRIP. So we're going to be publishing all that stuff next week, how you get to the website. If you have not been on the website, I encourage you to do so. There's a lot of changes on there. There's a few more to go, probably over the next 2 days or 3 days. But the website's done. All of the updates on terms and conditions, FAQs. We'll be doing a lot of interesting things starting next week. We'll be bringing back online the full-blown customer service. We'll have a full-blown customer service for restaurants, restaurant tours, order processes, and all that stuff. Be live calls, all that we're working through now. And those will be coming online probably next week. But you'll find all about this on next Saturday's webinar that will walk you through every aspect of the business. You got to remember, our model is so strong that once you get in front of these restaurateurs, they're all going to sign up. You're not going to have any issues signing people up. The interesting thing is when you look at like a DoorDash or a Grubhub or Uber Eats, you know, how they solicit restaurants is a little different than the way we're going to be doing it. If you look at our markets, the first 3 markets, like Houston, Atlanta, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, you know, we have 3,000 to 5,000 in each one of those markets. Miami, Fort Lauderdale has 19,000. But just think of it, if you only had a couple hundred people soliciting restaurants, how many restaurants you could solicit in a very short period of time? You could solicit 1,000, 2,000. You could open that market literally in 2 weeks and start really going to town. And if you sign up the restaurant yourself, you get the 40 cents every time any trip car goes there to pick up an order. So it's to you to go ahead and open those up because it becomes very lucrative, right? So let me see, how can we do Trip have any tutorial support facilities? So the question is, are we going to have any support and trainings? Exactly that. We are going to have support videos, tutorials, marketing materials. Corey's working on that. He's done a lot of work on that for social media. You guys can use all of that stuff. It's going to be for you to use. When we fire up the marketing platform, then everything's interconnected into that platform. That probably won't be up for a couple more weeks, and it's not a priority for us because we're going to be doing other kinds of things, getting up and running. But once it's up and running, all the videos, you can send them out. You can see the open rates, send emails from there. You can do like Zoom calls, but not Zoom through this other platform. So yeah, we're going to have all the tutorial support to facilitate and work with restaurants. We may have a payment to a second generation. This would help us from a team. Well, that's what I'm talking about. We have a second generation or second level payment. So that will definitely work in your favor for commissions and building a team of people. Right now we have about 107 to 115,000 people in the system. So we just got to get them all reactivated. And they'll come once we open the doors and they see that we're signing up restaurants and grocery and sharing the app by the thousands and hundreds of thousands, it's going to start moving quickly. Somebody just texted me, not seeing the questions I'm getting. That's because I already got these from Oscar. Let me see who's on here. Anybody, if you got some questions, start popping them up here, guys. Okay, will we be able to deliver? Can you share the Atlanta person legacy driver? And that's from Deborah. Yes, we can. We're going to be doing that this week. I just talked to Art this morning. So we're going to be circling back. And I talked to Tomas and a few others over the last couple of days. We're going to be circling back with those 3 markets. That doesn't mean you guys can't start doing things in your markets that we're going to open that's posted. You can start getting ahead of it too. But we want to focus on these 3 markets. We have to get those 3 right. So we'll be looking for the leaders, the legacy people in those markets to start building off their teams so they can help build those markets quickly. I think you guys, within 2 to 3 weeks after we say, okay, let's go, we can start bringing on the restaurants, you'll be up and driving in no time. And you just can't believe the power of this business model when you tell somebody that's in the restaurant business that's paying 25 and 30% food markups. We have no food markup at all. We just a flat fee. When you go, just go try it. Walk into a restaurant and ask them, would they use your ordering or delivery service? It was just a flat fee of $2 to $3 as opposed to paying 30 to 25, 30%. Everybody that I've interviewed, everyone has been 100% on that. Another question from Joe Jones. Will we be able to deliver alcohol from these restaurants that allow it? That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that, but I'll find out. I'm sure that's probably controlled by regulatory. So it's probably an easy question to find, but I will find out and we'll let you guys know on the webinar next Saturday with that answer. What about the marijuana?
marijuana delivery.
Well, we're also looking into other types of delivery services, dispensaries, RX, all that. So we're not just looking for restaurants and groceries. We want to be the person, because we're the low cost provider, that can intersect through retail, dispensaries, RX, all the different kinds of services that are needed out there. Our model is so strong, we can transition over. We just have to understand the regulatory issues with each one of those nuances, because everybody does. Each one of these areas that we want to get into are regulated, so we have to know what those are. And the markets that won't open, how do we promote this? That's what you're going to learn on Saturday next week, how we're going to roll these first 3 markets out. And then simultaneously, as we're starting to get traction in those 3 markets, which I think will happen very quickly within 10 or 15 days, then we have a list of actually another 33, which it's been posted. It's on our website if you haven't seen it, of the other 33 markets. We'll go after those and start building in those markets. And as you start to sign up restaurants, we'll probably have a minimum amount of restaurants and a minimum amount of drivers we're going to need to support that market. But we'll publish those, and you guys will have a real good handle on that. But nobody's seen the ability. The thing about having these legacy influencer drivers in the company is nobody's been able to really capture hundreds or thousands of people going out signing up restaurants. That's why it's going to happen so quickly. You don't even have to sell this. You just go and expose it to a restaurateur. They're all over it, because the biggest problem they have is making money on deliveries. Almost no one makes money on deliveries except for the delivery services. And our business model allows us to make money at these lower cost levels because of the way we built our business. It's totally technology driven. We look at every aspect, what costs us money and what doesn't cost us money. And we have to make decisions where not to spend money, but it's always in favor of the driver. Always. We keep the driver in our first mind, the customer in a second. So what have to pay a price to start off, even the one already paid for driver influencer fee? What's that?
It says, will one have to pay a price to start, even though they already paid for the driver and influencer at the beginning?
No, you don't have to pay any more fees or anything. We're just going to light it up. We will go back into rideshare when it's appropriate. We want to really, if you think about the strategy, we can get into the markets. We can put 100,000, 200,000 drivers online, just in the food, grocery delivery, and any other kind of delivery business that we may go into very quickly. So it gives us a presence. So when the market starts to come back in rideshare, we can transition into that also at the same time. So, but let's focus on the delivery side, because it gets us up faster, gets us into market penetration, market share, all things that we want to do. It helps us do very quickly.
What are the second level commissions for delivery? 15% like rideshare, i.e. restaurant sign up, restaurant membership per order.
Yeah. So the extra 15%, the 50 and 15 is for a legacy driver. That's somebody that's been on board with us as a driver, influencer since day one. All those people have been noticed. They all have their stock options. It's the other thing. When you get in your back office, you'll probably see that next Saturday. You'll be able to see your stock option plan. You'll see that you have 1,000 options, all that. Depends where you are in the hierarchy. It depends on the commission structure when you sign up a restaurant. If you're a pro driver, but not a legacy, it's 50 and 5. If you're a legacy driver, it's 50 and 15. If you're a side hustle, it's 40%. So it's pretty straightforward to the size commission. It just depends on the participation level that you're participating in. This will all be covered for you guys next Saturday in the webinar. We'll be going through all of these different items very thoroughly so you can really understand it. So what you'll want to do on the next Saturday is really get a lot of people on this call or on this Zoom call so they can get educated, because I'm going to tell you, once we start and we unleash this, it's going to run away. Our biggest concern is how do we handle customer service? Biggest single concern I have.
Are we going to accept salvage tiles cars on food delivery? Where's Aria?
I don't know. I don't know what that means.
What does that mean?
I don't understand the question. Accept salvage tire cars on food delivery. I think that those are probably retreads. Look, there's not a lot of regulatory about delivery cars. I would suggest that you get the best car you can. So if you're using salvage tires, I can't tell you not to use them. But if you're going to be driving, you want to be safe, and tires are a big safety feature for a car, obviously. But there's no real requirements. So
you already answered this. You're going to deliver CVS and Walgreens.
We're going to deliver anybody that wants us to deliver. We're going to be aggressively going after national accounts. And you guys are going to be going after, your regional accounts. We'll have a whole strategy about how to go after that. But yeah, we're going to be going after the big guys because that gives us girth real quickly across the United States. So that's one of the positive things about what we're doing.
When will the landing page for restaurants to sign up be finished?
When will the landing pages for restaurants to sign up will be finished? You'll see that next Saturday. We saw it yesterday, how to sign up the restaurant. We'll have a separate also website for deliveries that people can order online if they want or order off their app. So either way, you'll see all this on Saturday.
Is there a new app for drivers and restaurants? What's my link to share and sign up a restaurant, please?
Okay, so there's one app, and everything is inside that app. So if you're a rideshare driver, that's in the app. If you're a delivery driver, that's in the app. The restaurants are in the app. Everything to sign up is in the app. Everything will be done mobilely to sign up. So just one app. It's pretty simple once we unload that now. So the plan is once the system is 100%, because we can't publish the app until the system is 100%. The app on the rider side, the restaurant side is all working, but we still need the connectivity to the database structure and all that. And that's what they're working on this week. Once that's all completed and we've run through the system that works, then we'll submit the apps to the Google Play Store and to iOS. So that hopefully that'll all happen by the end of the week. And then it's usually 24 to 48 hours to get approval. And then they're good to go. That's when you'll be able to get back into the back office, see all the stuff yourself. You'll be able to edit your profile. If you have an address change or a banking change or any of that stuff, you'll be able to do it all back there yourself.
Postmates offers other benefits such as discounts on health, dental, auto maintenance, etc. Will Trip also have services that we may utilize?
Yeah, we're looking at a lot of these services that we can help the drivers with. It's not a priority right now. And the reason it's not a priority, it's manpower, and our focus is now getting launched. We have a number of people that have solicited us on those kinds of projects. Lisa Story's been involved in looking at some. We'll address those probably over the next 30 to 40 days after we're up and running. Right now, we're just focused on the business side and we want to get up and running, put more money in people's pockets right away. So
when can we go to the restaurants?
Well, you're going to find out next Saturday when you can go to the restaurants. Everything goes well, we'll be going pretty quickly. We'll have about 500,000 restaurants in our database that if you're living in a certain area code, you could look it up. If you don't know the restaurants or you're just doing drive-bys, you can look up, say, oh, is this one in our database? And then you can just, when you sign them up, you just flip the switch, basically, and they'll be signed up. It's going to be pretty seamless to do it.
When will the flyers, cards, etc. be ready in our back office?
When we open the back office, you'll see the business card section back there where you can click on the link and buy your business cards and all that stuff.
What about Trip accessories?
Yeah, we do have a Trip gear store they're working on right now. I don't know if it's going to be up next week or the week after, but we've already picked the products. We're just doing the logistics support side of it now. So when somebody orders it, how do you get it? How long does it take to get there? All that kind of stuff. We're pretty, sophisticated on e-commerce because most of us came out of e-commerce. So yeah, we'll have a gear store. We won't have 1,000 items in it. We'll probably have 20, 25 items at the most to start with. We'll see where that goes. And then if it starts to mature properly, then we'll continue to add product. But it's gonna be nice.
What about if they sign up a national restaurant account?
If you sign up a national restaurant account, that's one of the things we're working on is what's that commission look like? It depends what the national restaurant will do. A lot of times they don't want to pay anything. They're a national account, so they're giving you a lot of business. So we'll have to work through those as separate issues. So you just have to bear with us on that as we start to learn a little bit more about the national accounts.
I just did more questions.
Any more questions?
When will you open the back office?
When will I open the back office? As soon as it's ready. Hopefully next Friday or Saturday or the following week. Once everything is done, then we'll open the back office because the apps will be submitted, everything's connected. If I do it before then, which I could, but it wouldn't make sense because it will get more questions than you need. We got to do it when it's ready to go, when the apps are submitted, it's all tied together.
Will it be extra for the accessories?
Extra for accessories, meaning trip gear? Yeah, you have to, if you want a hat or a shirt or whatever, we don't make any real money on it. We didn't mark it up as a real business. We're just trying to do it to accommodate people. If they want to have branding, they can use it at will.
The question about the back office, they're saying so they can be trained before it opens.
Yes, all the train. That's why we're going to have a series of trainings starting next Friday. The first will be, just on the system side, how to engage a restaurant, how to sign them up, how the app works is interfaces with the restaurants, and then also the grocery pickup delivery side of the business. We'll be doing that whole training next Saturday. And that will be the beginning of training. We'll be having training, ongoing training and videos posted on YouTube for training videos. We'll be doing probably 2 webinars a week on training. They may be only 45, 50 minutes. They'll be recorded, and then we'll post them up. So if you're not there for it, you can go into the YouTube channel. That's why I try to encourage everybody to sign up on YouTube because that's where a lot of the information is going to be stored.
Will restaurant owners use the rider or driver app?
Yeah, they will use the app also. Yes.
Will we still have the people we already signed up?
Yes. Anybody that you signed up that's in your, your hierarchy is already attached to you. So we know what those people are, who's attached. We've been through the system. That's already been moved over to the new system.
What are the requirements for mom and pop's restaurants / grocery stores?
When you say mom and pop restaurants, grocery stores, the requirement is for every restaurant to be on board with us, they have to sign up, pay an activation fee of $149.99. That activation fee turns on the system technology-wise, on the point of sale system and or a tablet, any of those kinds of things. And then there's additional, if they want, it's optional. If they want to be a member pickup and delivery prices are lower than non-member. And that'll all be laid out. We've talked about it before, but that'll be all laid out. It's actually up on the website right now. If you go to triprides.com, you'll see a lot of this stuff back there. If you haven't been on the website, I'm really encourage you guys to go because Corey's done a fabulous job on getting all that content. We just have one little piece or so left that we got to finish up. And then all that content is in your back office also in PDF files. So if you need to know what's the commission on this or what's this, how's that work? It's all back there. You got so much information, your e-wallets in your back office, your profiles in your back office that you can see, your downline or your affiliates, they're all there too. You can see everybody that you're working with in your back office. It's fully active, will be fully activated and functional when you see it.
How can I apply to be a vendor for the apparel? We can help cut costs since Trip really isn't looking to profit off of apparel and merch.
Yeah, send that email to art@triprides.com. Art and his team are on that side of the business, getting that lit up. So if you have some apparel that you think that is good for us, they're going to make a decision. Yeah, it's good. It's right price, not right price. Doesn't fit, whatever but they'll definitely take a look at it. So send it to Art, make sure he gets it. Okay, any other questions? Team is doing good. Okay, well, if there's no other questions, we're pretty well got through this pretty quick. I would start engaging your people over the next 4 or 5 days. Encourage everybody that can get on that training next week to get on there, because I'm going to tell you what's going to happen And I know a lot of people are, I get a little hater stuff going on every now and then. I find it amusing, actually. But what's going to happen is if you don't get engaged, other people are going to get engaged because this is so powerful. And I know you've been hearing this for 18 months or whatever, but we're getting really close, and it's all going to come, and you're going to get blown out of the water. You're not going to believe what's going to happen. Believe me. If I didn't believe that, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be doing this for the last 2 years of my life. I would be doing something a lot easier. This has been the toughest startup I've ever done, but it's actually probably going to end up being the most rewarding from the standpoint of when you have these big peaks and valleys of development. You get to see it at firsthand of all the work, not just the work I'm doing, but work in the whole team, and also everybody on this call and in the field. Every one of you have been phenomenal supporters of the company, and that's going to take us down the road a long way. So this thing's going to really pick up steam and move fast. So it's going to blow you away. Any other questions down there?
Deborah says, can we sign up for Vibe now?
You can sign up for Vibe as soon as it's turned on and completed. It's about 80% there now. So hopefully, whenever it's up next week, if it's up next week, then you'll just sign up for it right through your back office. Everything, the whole back office, really, which is a dashboard, is really your controlled environment. You control everything you do back in that dashboard. Like I said, when you see it, you're going to say, wow, this is pretty slick, what they built, because it allows you the flexibility to run your business in any direction you want to go. So if you want to use technology, you want to advertise, you want to see your results, it's all there. You want to see the top 10 producers in the company of drivers. Actually, David Track just sent me a text. We laugh about this all the time because I said to him one day, normally when I do a company, I build a monster company, right? And I said, I did build a monster company only on the front end. Now it's a startup, and we're going to turn it into a monster company very quickly as we start to roll this out. So
do you have a time for next Saturday?
We haven't established time. That'll come out probably around this time, 10 o'clock. Fits better, I think, for most people because you got the East Coast and West Coast. We could move it to 9, but it's noon. So we'll let everybody know. We'll send out an email blast. We'll follow up with probably a text message because it's going to be important for you guys to get online and get rolling. Knowledge is power, and that's how you win. You've got to be engaged. You've got to understand the product that you're selling and how to turn it on. But once you turn it on, you're going to be saving. Just think about this. You're going to be saving restaurants 25 to 30% on every order that goes out their door. Okay, that's a big deal. If you read any of the surveys, statistics, that 70+% of restaurateur owners hate this delivery model that's out there. They just feel like they're taken advantage of. So this solves a major problem. And the other problem they have is they don't get their money on time. Their money gets held 4 or 5 days before they get their money. With us, because we issue them their own merchant account, it's just like driver. It just comes in ka-ching, ka-ching, bang, bang, bang. So they don't have their money held up either. So all of these things we're doing have to be thought through in processes translated to technology. How do you make them work?
Will I be able to see the info from my back office from my smartphone or only from the PC?
No, you'll be able to see it. Everything is mobile and also PC. So you'll be able to do everything on your phone. Even as the customer signs up on the app, very, very similar to anybody else's app, you'll be able to take a photo, upload it. All your documentation is uploadable. Everything is mobile.
How is the e-wallet? Is that coming together?
Yeah, the e-wallet's not a problem. That is, that'll be up when we open. It'll probably get installed this week. That's the easiest part of the install, actually.
That's it.
And also the e-wallet, just so you know, is international. So if you live, let's say, in Mexico and you have family here in the States and you want to, or anybody, a friend, you want to recruit them to drive or do restaurant deliveries, whatever, you can get paid for that, right? Or if you live in Mexico and you have a friend that lives in Colombia and they're doing stuff down there, I mean, it's the same thing. You can get paid internationally with us through the e-wallet now. And you control your money. You can send it to wherever you want.
When we sign up a merchant, who delivers the tablet?
It'll be delivered by mail.
Will there be a value prop page that will be in the training?
Yes. The page, in other words, are we going to show you the value of what we're doing to the customer or to the restaurateur? Okay. Wow, I allotted 90 minutes and we did it in 30 something minutes. So just everybody tune back in. We'll be sending that information out later in the week on the webinar for next Saturday. It'll be a pretty big webinar from the standpoint of what we're going to cover. It'll all be also available for you. We'll record the call, we'll post it, and you can have reference points on that, and we'll have documentation too.
If I drive and deliver food, will that add up points for stock options as a legacy?
We have not. We're doing some very interesting things on the option side. We haven't announced it yet, so I can't really say, but we are looking at a number of avenues going down the road that puts more options based on performance in the drivers, not just legacy, but the pro driver. So we want to make sure that everybody's participating in the equity side of the company, which is different than most of these companies have done. I've always had our companies and employees, non-employees, anybody associated with the company is helping it grow, end up having the ability to be a shareholder through stock option plans. So we will continue that.
An informative video or such to send to restaurants?
Yes, we will have. In fact, I'll probably be seeing some of them today. Corey's been working on videos for the last couple of days now. Yeah, we'll have a little short vignettes of videos, why is it advantageous for a restaurateur to sign up with us and how it works. So yeah, we'll have all that stuff for you.
What advice to those in the smaller markets that won't be opened up soon?
Well, here's the thing, and that's a darn good question. Here's what I think is going to happen. We're gonna open. That's why we loaded over 110 cities, and some of them are our smaller markets. I think what's going to happen is we start to build momentum. And we're saying, oh, we could open in Boise, Idaho, for example, but it's on our list, but it's 3 or 4 months out. Well, you could live in Boise, Idaho, and start recruiting restaurants, start signing them up, and as we see you're getting mass, you hit Art, myself, or somebody, and say, hey, I'm in here working. We'll see it anyway, but I'm in here working this market, and I'm recruiting, and I'm bringing on restaurants and grocery, whatever. We'll tell you to go ahead and open that market. We'll look at it. So we just got to figure out mechanisms. Once we get the first 3 up, which is critical, we'll find out what we're doing really well and what we're not doing well. We'll correct what we're not doing well, and we'll implement that throughout the whole cycle of the sign-up process and how it's going to work. Just having people that are coming on board now with the company, Shanna Lockhart, has given us a big eye opener on, she's got real world experience, so it's really helping out. So a lot of these will shortcut some issues, but I want to open every market we can open. Believe me, I'd love to be in 100 markets in 12 months. That would be a massive undertaking, but it's not improbable as long as the systems are working and we can handle the customer service. That's the real key to this. And the customer service, not just being signed up people, but if somebody's delivery is not there, the driver's not doing the right thing, or the restaurant's late to the driver and the product, all that stuff, those are real-time communications that need to take place.
Will the app work from state to state, or do I need to change all my legal papers work to go to that state to do pickup and delivery?
On the rideshare side, there's regulatory issues about crossing state lines because they fall under TNC. So that's a different question. In the restaurant delivery business, I don't think you're going to be driving across. I mean, you may move to another state, and you could just you turn on your delivery service, and you're there. We don't have that regulatory issue because you're not taking people in a car.
Will Trip have cryptocurrency adaptation? Will drivers and customers be able to make transactions in crypto? Now,
look, hey, L, man, hey, Phoenix. Look, that's a great question. Actually, was on a call this morning just talking about that on crypto. We probably will down the road. Again, these are all phase 2 and phase 3 things that we want to look at. Crypto obviously is playing a role. Venmo plays a role. PayPal plays a role, all of that stuff. So those are all phase 2 and 3. The key right now is get up and running, find out the soft spots, and then step on the gas, and then just roll these other programs in. They're all on our hit list. But it's a great question because, crypto is playing a role in the marketplace now. Is blockchain? No, we're not blockchain. The reason we're not blockchain is blockchain, and I'm fairly familiar with it from a technology standpoint, is not that fast, and you don't buy that much with it right now unless you're actually doing all crypto kind of stuff. But we need speed, and you have to understand the technology difference in this kind of business as opposed to other kinds of businesses. You're getting flicks of information, milliseconds, boom, 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 but millions of it. So your system has to be able to handle that kind of information flow. And it's a different kind of technology base than the other stuff. But those are all things down the road we're looking at. But there's a lot of things that we're looking at that nobody else is doing in the rideshare industry. And if we're right with the first piece of this, which we're getting ready to find out, then the second and third pieces are going to fall into shape pretty fast, and it's going to blow people away. We have a whole different take on where this industry is going as opposed to the other guys. And the other guys, they've been at it for 10 years and they still haven't figured it out because they haven't made any money. If they had figured it out, they would have figured out how to make money, because in a capitalist society, everything's driven by, return on equity, investment, free markets, all that stuff. So I think we have the opportunity to be the real first rideshare company out there that can get into positive cash flow very quickly.
So the markets that you are opening up will have to have trip delivers to do the delivery.
Yeah, I guess I understand that. Yeah, you have to, if we're going to open a market, of course they have to have trip deliveries in the market. We have to sign up restaurants to do pickup and delivery business with, and or grocery stores and or consumers. So it's really going to be on you guys to really flood the market with your, share the app in the markets you're in. And you can share it in markets you're not in. It doesn't matter. I mean, if you have friends, family, acquaintances, businesses, or market to on social media, I'd be hammering social media, Instagram, keep using, going places, doing good, all of that through the marketing process. But yeah, you could really, really expand your market just out of your own business. It just depends. Here's the thing. Can we deliver on a motorcycle? Of course. So there's basically 4 modes of transportation in the delivery business. Well, there's actually 5. Walking, if you're only going to be down the street. You can do motor scooter, bicycle, a car, truck, anything that moves. Basically, you can use.
Which markets are opening first?
Okay, so I've said that we're opening 3 markets: Atlanta, right? Atlanta, Fort Lauderdale, Miami is another market, and Houston. So those are the 3 markets we're going to open first. We have a hit list of 36 markets that we've geofenced. We're ready to go with today, right? But we want to open 3, which is aggressive, to make sure we get it right. We'll know within the first 10 days how much problems we're having opening the market or not having, or with any sign-up processes or anything. Once we understand that, then we're going to start opening more markets. Pretty simple. But we have to get those 3 right and find out what the issues are. Because if you don't, then we end up shooting ourselves in the foot and then causing more problems for ourselves. And we don't want to do that. We want to be right. This has got so much upside. If you guys should go out and ask, next time you go to a restaurant, find the right person who's in charge and ask them, would you switch your delivery business over to us if we can just give you a flat fee of $2 or $3 instead of paying the 25-30%? And watch what their face is. They'll can I sign up now? That's usually what we get. So, somebody asked, it was David Track. Restaurants can use their own delivery service and go through us too if they like, and we can redirect it. So
does that include West Palm Beach?
Yes, West Palm Beach is in that number with Fort Lauderdale and Miami. And don't forget, we probably have about 30,000 people signed up in the state of Florida with us. So once we get rolling, people are going to come back because they want to make money. And we'll be able to do that for them. They'll make money signing up the restaurants. They'll make money on the activation fee. They'll make money on the membership fee. And the membership fee's annual, so the renewal the following year. But yeah, I think you could easily sign up multiple restaurants, 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 each person a week with no problem. Just depends how much work you want to put into it. If you want to canvas an area, do 3 or 4 or 5 meetings a day, you can probably sign them all up, I would guess.
After the 3, when will Trip be launching in Tucson?
Trip will launch in Tucson. It's on the list of our next 36, Tucson, Phoenix. I say sooner than later. I mean, look, if we handle those 3, we can just say, okay, go open all 33 other markets tomorrow morning. Go start working those markets. And that's what I think will happen. But we have to be able to handle it internally. It's not an external thing, it's an internal thing. So we got to know what the issues are going to be so we can staff to that to make sure that it's seamless for the restaurateur, for the driver, for the recruiter, and for the company. Okay, guys. Where's any more? Trip fee. The trip pickup fee.
So he wrote, Greg Mackey, restaurants who climb on board will not want to pay a trip deliver fee plus a fee from another rideshare company that actually does the delivery. David's trying to explain to him that that's not
how it works.
Yeah,
David will explain it to you. It's very simple. Don't overthink this stuff. It's really simple. Look, people are going to save a lot of money in this business model, and that's the driving thing behind it.
Slideshow that goes through all of the breakdown.
Yeah, we'll show you how to complete, webinar next Saturday, every facet of it. Don't overcomplicate it because it's really easy. Okay, so we'll need drivers for sure to complete the task.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, how are you going to how's the restaurateur going to deliver the food to the customer? They need a driver. Here's the problem. All these other delivery companies have conflated an issue and trying to take control of the restaurateur's business. They tell them you can't mark this up, you can't do this, you can't, and you got to give. That's not our business. Our business is he has a service. He sold food. He needs that food delivered to a customer. What's the quickest, cheapest way to get that to that customer? That's our job. So we just got to do it multiple times a day, So if you just keep all these answers simple and stop conflating, not you conflating, but people are conflating this 25% here, 30% there. I kind of sort of maybe get this. That's our business, is to pick up stuff and deliver it for our customer. Our customer is the restaurant, okay? Our customer is also the consumer that buys that food. So we have to serve 2 people. And then actually the ultimate customer is our driver. So we have to make sure the driver makes money. It's no more complicated than that, but you need technology. You need to think the process through and not overthink it because it's that simple. What's gotten complicated is everybody's looking for a piece of this or that, and that's not the job. Your job, originally, if you go back in the delivery, pickup, and food business from restaurants over the years, you never saw anybody marking up food cost to send out. Why would they? The people that would buy from that restaurant either probably ate there before, knows the restaurant, knows the pricing. All of a sudden, now you're buying at 25, 30% more just because somebody else is picking it up. You know what that does to the food cost and margins for the business? It just stifles the companies, the restaurateurs. So that's the reason we're going to be able to enter these markets, because of our business model is so revolutionary. Got my best friend who owns 3 restaurants. He paid to Uber $4,000 on a fee from, yeah, that's about right. So here's how you sell that guy. He paid $4,000 on that quarter, or from the fees from the second quarter. That's 40% fees from his gross sale, and he doesn't have 40% margin in food costs. Trust me. So he probably lost money. So if you look at that, you said, okay, let's say the guy did 100 deliveries. I don't even know what it is, but just say 100 deliveries. And if it's $2 and he's a member with us, he paid $200 versus 4,000. I mean, you can't take the number I just gave you as being relative, but if you just go back and ask that restaurateur, how many orders did that deliver to cost him 4,000? Just multiply that times $2, and that's what he would have paid us. See how simple it is?
Are you a former Navy SEAL?
No.
When are you going to launch the app?
Okay, so somebody asked, when are you going to launch the app? that's what I tried to explain a few minutes ago. The app is the last thing we'll launch because all the connecting parts have to be done. We cannot submit that to the app store until it's all connected. And we look to do that as soon as possible. As soon as everything's connected, we'll submit to the Apple Store and to we'll submit to the Apple Store and Android. And then once that's submitted, it's usually 24 to 48 hours for approval. Once that's approved, it goes up in the Play Store, people can start downloading. Anybody that's on our old app will be transferred over to the new app. You don't have to do anything. It'll be transferred over automatically onto the new app. You'll be there. So you'll just use the same OTP information that you used before.
Will the delivery driver only have to pay a subscription fee each month?
Yes, it's our basic business model is 2 subscription fees. We lowered the full-time pro driver fee to $99. It was $149, so it's now $99. You get unlimited rides, and if you're doing both, when we're doing both rideshare it's unlimited, whatever you want to do. Same thing for side hustle. It's 75 rides for $39.99. It's pretty relatively inexpensive for $39 to get 100% of the ride. So,
is the background check for delivery driver still $99?
No, there is no background check that the delivery driver has to pay. Okay, that's on the company. We pay that. It's significantly less than what we would pay on the the driver side for rideshare. We're still looking at that. We'll come out with what we think is appropriate as we start getting back into the rideshare space. But right now, we're just focused on 100% on deliveries.
Is there a different cost for bike and driver?
No. You can walk, ride. If you're a part-time driver or a walker or a bicyclist or a motorcycle guy or scooter, it's still $39.
What you think about California AB5 law?
Yeah, so one of the things we saw coming when we started the company, and the reason why part of our strategy was to be more efficient and different, and to get around the issue of gig economy. When you start taking people's money in and you're paying them back out, that's a control point. So for us, it was, how do you effectively build a company that's electronic and also payment driven without touching somebody's money? You have to find the right partner that can think through the vision you have and how to set that up. And we did that. So by us not touching the money, issuing the driver their own merchant account, the money never comes to us. We don't even file a 1099 on the driver at all because we don't touch their money. And so that goes directly to the driver. So therefore, we're in compliance with the AB5 rule, along with 4 or 5 other things that we do that are different that we're in compliance with. So AB5 doesn't affect us. That doesn't mean that some lawyer, some compliance guy, hey, these guys are doing this over here, doing that over there. But I don't think so, because the test is already there and we meet every test. So it's really, I don't think we have anything to worry about. That's why we want to get into California, because they got problems, man. They're now saying that Uber, Lyft drivers, or anybody else are employees. So I think we're in good shape.
Does the delivery driver get a cooler bag to carry the food?
Yes, we're going to have cooler bags. We're going to have hot bags for pizza and things like that. We're working through those. Probably have that all posted up next week.
Are the monthly subscription fees omitted if we sign up 2 or more drivers?
No, I think that was on the old plan. So we haven't really addressed that, but I'll take that under consideration and talk about it this week and see.
Uber Eats charges 3% markup in my area, yet DoorDash owns the market here at 18% markup on delivery. Not really a question.
Yeah, and that's a misnomer, by the way. Also, it's 18%. But you guys, what happens is they layer on fees that people don't see. You got to remember, our receipt that we give the driver and we give the customer is identical. There's no hidden fees. Everybody gets to see the whole thing. It's not hide the football today. And that's the problem. It says 18%, but I bet you if you go back into that receipt, there's some hidden fees in there. It might be another 25 cents here, another quarter, half a buck there, whatever it might be. I'm not totally familiar with the exact, but it's a theme that goes through the whole driver industry.
Do delivery drivers get one free month?
Yes. So when you sign up as a delivery driver, right now everybody is signed up. You go to work, start driving. You don't pay anything for the first 30 days. You don't pay the $39.99 or the $99.99. When you sign up, you will click on what program you want, what subscription program you want. You'll click on it. You will not be billed till 30 days later. So during that month, as you're delivering and driving, you'll be making commissions coming in on your merchant account, and you will not be charged for 30 days.
What is the receipt breakdown? How do I convince a driver to deliver for a trip and make more money?
Well, it's transparent for one. I'll put one together for everybody on the webinar for next Saturday, so you can see the difference.
That's it. Thumbs up.
Okay, guys. I think that's it. I think we're done. I think we almost got an hour. Okay. Listen, everybody, appreciate your time. This week is going to be big for us. The webinar, I would start getting people activated if you can, or at least get them listening, get on the webinar next week. Because once we turn on the heat, it's going to be a whole different game. So I just want to thank everybody for their patience, time. All the good guys are here. I appreciate that. Love you guys. You guys are doing good. So I'll catch up with you later next week. I'll give you an update maybe around Tuesday on what's going on. And then maybe on Thursday or Friday will be another update before the webinar. Okay? All right, guys. Have a good day.